Everyone, Casey Serafino-Lee from the San Francisco East Bay, and today I have awesome co-hosts with me today. I have Jessica and Chris from Murrieta, California, and we are going to compare Murrieta and the Hayward area. So thanks for joining me today, guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
This is Chris and Jessica from Murietta. Our channel is Moving to Murietta. And what we thought we'd do today was just talk with somebody else that's in our YouTube for Agents group and talk about our areas, starting with you, Casey. You want to tell us about Hayward?
I represent the San Francisco East Bay. I live in Hayward. I actually grew up in San Leandro, which is right next door. So San Leandro and Hayward are kind of my wheelhouse for doing business in. I know all of the streets like the back of my hand. So I am happy to talk about San Leandro, Hayward, down to Fremont as part of Silicon Valley, and it's an awesome place to live.
All right. What's the name of your channel on YouTube?
It's actually my name, Casey Serafino-Lee.
All right.
Makes
Very
it easy.
And this is my wife, Jessica. We're a husband and wife team. She's the face of our brand. This is a rare appearance by Chris on a video, and I'll let her tell us about Murietta.
Yeah, so Murietta is a wonderful family suburban community. We're located in Southern California. We're basically in between. We're just north of San Diego, and we're just southeast of Orange County. And we have the best things about living in Murietta is going to be the safety rankings. We're very highly rated on safety stats. SafeWise, which is an online resource, comes out with some stats. Last year, I think we were number 2 in the state of California, which is amazing. This year, I think that we're number 5 for cities of our size, which is we're a little over 100,000. I think we're at 113,000 currently. We have high-ranking schools, large, nice houses, a lot of new construction still going on, and we are growing quite rapidly because we are so much more affordable than neighboring counties, San Diego and Orange County. So that is Murietta in a nutshell. If you are considering moving to our area, we have put together a guide that just helps you get acquainted with the area, the schools, the hospitals. We have a link down below in the description where you can fill it out and automatically download it. We made it very easy.
Okay, so let me talk about Hayward, kind of on the opposite side here, up in Northern California. Our population here is about 144,000, so we're a little bit larger. Okay. We do have a little bit of new construction here. Hayward was developed heavily in the 1950s, so many of our homes were built in the 1950s, and where there are little pockets, kind of, that's where all the new builds are. The new builds are just kind of fit in between, and so we have a nice combination of condos, homes, townhouses, giant homes, small houses, and we have a pretty good safety rating for the number of people that we have here living in Hayward. It is definitely, you know, we're considered San Francisco East Bay. It's not that Hayward is like so well known. San Francisco is known, but a lot of people live here in Hayward and on the East Bay, and they commute over to San Francisco. That's what we're known for.
How long does that commute take, and how do they get to
If you drive, it can take about an hour. If you take public transportation, kind of driving from home to the BART station on over to San Francisco, it's probably about an hour, but definitely a little bit more relaxed than driving, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I will add, let me add one thing about Hayward. The beauty of Hayward is we're kind of called the heart of the Bay. My family in particular, we chose Hayward. My husband is in construction, and it is an awesome jumping off point. He works all over the Bay, whether it's West Bay on San Francisco, we're East Bay, South Bay, where Silicon Valley is. I swear for like 5 years he was working there. It's super central, so it's kind of like, you know, if you live in the North Bay and to commute all the way to the South Bay, that can take you 3 hours some days.
Wow. We don't have hardly any, you know, 1950s style homes. It's mostly newer. The population of Murietta, like in the 80s, was like 20,000. So and we were just incorporated in the 90s. So it's a newer city. So we do have a historical downtown, which we do have. So we have some older construction there, but that's really the only area that we have the kind of historical area. So that's kind of fun that you've got the new mixed with the old.
Yeah, yeah. And one thing I kind of tout for Hayward too is that if you want to live in the suburbs, we have a kind of suburban area. If you want to live in the city, you can go downtown, you can walk everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to go kind of on the outskirts of Hayward, we have a little bit of countryside. So we kind of have a nice mix of everything.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Sounds
Great.
good.
Yeah, I have to admit that I have never been there, but it makes me want to check it out.
Well, let's get into the cost of living, starting with housing prices. So let's start with Jessica on housing prices in Murrieta, single-family homes and condos.
Sure. The median, I think in my November market report that just came out, the median single family detached home price is currently around 480, I think it was 483,000, somewhere around there. So that is the median that will get you a large, very nice house in a nice area in Murietta. A starter home you can get in the mid threes, around the 350,000 range for a starter home. You can get a 2-bedroom condo starting in the mid to high 200s in Murietta. If you're, we do have quite a range. We have $1 million homes as well in a couple different neighborhoods. But again, you know, your average, you're looking in the 400,000 and 500,000s typically.
Okay. So in Hayward, our starter level, let's start with condos, for example. Like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo is going to run you about $350,000. And that's going to be for an existing, not a new build, probably built somewhere in like the 60s or 70s. Our single family homes, we actually are a very large city. So we have 3 zip codes right here. But let's just take like 94545, for example. A 1950s home is going to run you about $600,000, kind of like a starter home. We do have in the same zip code here, we do have another set of homes, and I have a video on that, Eden Shores. The average home price in there is about 1.1 million. And they're not like our nice luxury homes, like if you're going to Stonebray Country Club. Those also in Hayward, they're running, you know, on average 1.5 million.
So pretty pricey, but definitely more affordable than, you know, Silicon Valley or San Francisco. That
where I feel like their starter homes are starting at 1-point-something million. New construction tends to actually be a little bit more expensive. There is a new construction in the next zip code, and they were some really nice vertical living. So it's 3 levels. Like 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and they were starting at 900,000. I don't know why our new construction is more expensive. It just is here, but they're beautiful.
Casey, we were talking a little bit about property taxes. Can you tell us about property taxes up north in your area?
Yeah, I generally tell people to set aside about 1.25% a year of the purchase price of the home for taxes. There are a couple of neighborhoods that are generally new builds that have like some special assessments, and then also just a factor in the HOAs. But pretty much it's you know, across the board, I say 1.25%. What about you guys?
We're a little bit different as far as that goes. It really varies. It varies neighborhood by neighborhood here. The newer homes, like especially starting in the early 2000s, is where they really started putting in some special assessments. So a lot of homes built, you know, 2002, 3, 4, and newer. Almost all of them have, you know, 2,000 to 3,000, 4,000 extra and special assessments on top of the base tax rate of, you know, approximately 1.1%.
That's per year. That's per year.
It's per year.
3,000, 4,000, 5,000 per year.
Yeah, and it can be, you know, one neighborhood will have 1.1%, and everywhere has special assessments here, but sometimes it's as low as $40 a year, $200 a year, and then you do have to be aware of those neighborhoods. And the new construction communities almost all have very high special assessments, and they're normally in the $3,000-4,000 range.
A similar topic to taxes is HOA, homeowner association fees. Jessica, why don't you tell us about homeowner association fees in Murrieta?
Yeah, sure. So for the single family home, homeowners association fees are There's a large range, but in Murietta, we do have a lot of communities to choose from that do not have HOAs at all. We have much more communities, many more communities here in Murietta versus, say, Temecula, that do not have a homeowners association. So you can save a little bit of money there. And we have a lot of communities that have very small homeowners association fees, like $30 a month or $50 a month. And some of those communities still have amazing amenities, pools and spas and parks for very reasonable. Now, if you're getting into a gated community, then those are normally going to be more in the $200 a month range if you're going to get a gated amenity like that.
In Bear Creek.
Oh yeah, well, Bear Creek is a whole nother animal. That's a high-end area in Murietta, and that is the highest homeowners association that I am aware of. And it varies. There's condos and townhomes and detached single-family homes in there, so it varies depending on what kind of property you buy. But normally, I think it's in the $600 range. But it's just a very exclusive community, beautiful community.
Get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for, and the taxes are very low in there, so that kind of balances it out. I actually really like that community, but a lot of buyers can't get past a $650 HOA.
Sounds very similar to our community of Stonebray. It's a gated community, and they do have a little bit higher HOAs compared to Eden Shores, which is not a gated community, and they have their single family homes. They do have lower HOA, it's like 150 or so, and they do have some amenities. Because Hayward is mostly built in the 1950s, most of the homes do not have HOA. It's really where you want to look at the condos and townhomes, and those are just going to vary, by that particular association. And I know that around here, they vary anywhere from $250 to, I've seen in some of the townhomes around $600, but those are going to be like your super nice pools, things like that.
Yeah.
Our condo HOAs around town, $100, $200.
Yeah, we have. It's so funny you mentioned that because I actually there's one over here. It's called Glen Eden, and theirs is $287, and it seems like it's the most affordable. There is not too many amenities with it, but they keep it up really nice though.
Okay.
Let's talk about gas prices. On this Numbeo website that we'll put in the description below, we have all sorts of cost of living line items, and one of them is gas prices. Right now it shows us here in Murrieta at $3.66. What do you have for Hayward today?
Today we're at about $3.56, and let me just say, I find that a little bit interesting. The gas is refined up here in the Antioch area, so we're refining it here and shipping it down to you guys, and it's only 10 more cents expensive.
I think there's a refinery in Long Beach, but I think that could be an explanation why yours might be just slightly less. But compared to if somebody's looking at this from across the country, they'll just be surprised at how high gas prices are here in California. Let's talk about the weather for a little bit.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Our area down here in Murrieta is the Inland Empire, San Bernardino, and Riverside counties in Southern California. We're a little bit inland, but we are a short drive, just 20 miles by the way the crow flies to the ocean. And we're a temperate climate. And I would say for most of the year, we're very comfortable. She loves the weather here. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, 75% of the time, the weather is amazing here. I mean, we've sat outside on Christmas, by the pool and had dinner. The weather's great, but that 25% of the time, the summer, July, August, September, it does get very hot in Murietta. Not, Arizona hot or Las Vegas hot, but we certainly have a few weeks where we're in the hundreds, and you absolutely have to have air conditioning, and hopefully you have a pool as well. We're a neighbor with a pool.
But you're up north, right? So you're if you're a person that likes a cooler climate. Yes,
we have two seasons here: sweater season and non-sweater season. We are also of the temperate climate. In the wintertime, I would say we dip usually down like in the daytime, maybe to the 50s. We're generally, where you put on your sweater, and for the most part, you're good. We get a fair amount of rain in the wintertime, which is great. It's a non-drought year this year. But you definitely in the summertime, I would say in Hayward specifically on the East Bay, as long as you don't go over to the hills into like the Dublin Pleasanton area, you don't need an air conditioner. It's kind of nice. I would say that we generally hover around 85 degrees in the summertime. You know, so it's really nice. It's one of the reasons that we still live here.
It's almost coastal. So just a jacket at the time, and then even when it gets hot, it's not that hot.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Casey, do you have anything else to tell us about Hayward before we wrap up this video?
One of the reasons I would definitely consider moving to Hayward, obviously, if you have a job here, we have lots of jobs, and I have a video about our 10 largest employers. But is the Parks Department here? We have over 200 miles of hiking trails in the area. It is one of the things that I love here. But if you're thinking about moving to the San Francisco East Bay, definitely check out my channel, Casey Serafino-Lee.
Thank you so much for joining us on this video call. We hope it's useful for people that are interested in Northern California and Southern California, moving back and forth, or just coming from somewhere else in the country.
Yeah, awesome. Chris and Jessica, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Murietta sounds like an awesome place to move to. And if you guys are thinking about moving to Murietta, definitely contact them. We have the most awesome network of agents that if you're thinking of moving out of the San Francisco East Bay, I can hook you up with any level any awesome level of agents like Chris and Jessica. Whether you're moving to Murietta or you're moving to Las Vegas or Arizona, I will hook you up with them. But if you're thinking about moving to the San Francisco East Bay, I have a relocation guide in the description. Be sure to go down there and download it for free. If you liked this video, you might like this one or this one. And be sure to subscribe to my channel here. See you on the next one.